Hey, y'all. Sorry I cannot be there with you this morning, but we are going to have our burn battle nonetheless because I know you guys could not survive a day without Mrs. Curry being shamed. So we are. Oh, calm down.
They would have been all right. They could have survived.
I don't think so. Our first word is recluse. Recluse or recluse means withdrawn from society and left alone, kind of like you might think of a hermit, somebody living alone in the woods, kind of like Mrs. Curry, but she's just a recluse in her own mind. Typically, like I'll invite Mrs. Curry, say, Miss Curry, let's go out and have fun. And say, no, I'd rather sit in a dark, cavernous garage with my one book and a little flashlight. And that's kind of what she does.
There is nothing wrong with being a recluse or being reclusive because it means that you have solitary time to ponder the deeper. You don't ever ponder deeper questions, so you don't need that time alone. I apologize, Mr. Arthurs.
Why ponder when you already know the answer? All right. Next one is reverberate. Reverberate or reverberate. I guess it's reverberate, right?
It's reverberate, but that it does the spelling makes it look
Like a reverber.
Reverberate, yeah.
Yeah. So it's a series of echoes or vibrations. When Miss Curry gets mad, she starts to really speak in a really high pitched voice that kind of sounds like your car's brakes when they're reverberating. It's very interesting.
I have nothing except for to say this is not a burn necessarily, but have you been on Zoom when your voice reverberates back to you?
Yeah, that's not cool.
Why does that happen? It's so wild. Sometimes I'll be on Zoom, I'll say a whole bunch of things to the students, like important things, and seriously, like there's a 5 second lag and the words come back to me. What is that?
It is off-putting to
Yes.
me. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Miss Curry, you take the first shot. Sage. So sage is having wisdom, a wise person, or it's a good smelly plant that's used in cooking. I like it. Sage, rosemary, and thyme, right?
Mr. Arthurs seems like he would be a sage. However, he is not. He is a smelly plant that is used in cooking.
I am a smelly plant.
Did that work?
I think that was good. That was good. Mrs. Curry has given me a lot of sage advice on technology, and yeah,
That's not a burn. That's just true.
yeah, but
That's just the truth.
But the results are what the issue is.
Oh, is this about the time that I borrowed your computer for 2 minutes and it broke?
Yeah,
And you
that would be
blamed
it.
me.
That would be it. Exactly. That's
I did nothing to your computer.
except break it. Yeah.
If you had maintained it, it would not have broken.
Okay. Making excuses. You're like that kid that says, I can't open a can of something to go, oh, when I open it, go, but I loosened it for you. Right? That's right. All right. All right. Tirade is a long, angry speech. Oftentimes, after a good burn battle, when Mrs. Curry is, just curled up in a ball in the corner, she'll get up later and go on this long, tremendous, wonderful tirade. I'm like, why didn't you do that during the burn battle? And it's just day late, dollar short,
Again, because I do not think as quickly on my feet as you do. So, like, I'm curled up into that ball, sobbing because it's so hard for me. And I think of all these amazing burns that I could have done. And that leads me into the tirade. It really does.
I understand.
Yes.
Next word is tremulous. Trembling or shaking, usually due to being timid or fearful. Oftentimes, when people are giving a speech, they might seem tremulous, and you can see the shaking in their hands. Or if they're quick bit of advice: if you're shaky when you give speeches, don't hold paper in your hands because it'll sound like you're raking leaves or something. Mrs. Curry is rarely tremulous. Yeah, she's pretty solid. She doesn't get too upset, so it's pretty good.
You just contradicted your own earlier burn. First of all, you're saying I'm curled up in a corner, sobbing about the burn battles, and now I'm pretty solid.
No, I mean only the burn battles.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Otherwise,
no. Yeah. Otherwise, yeah, you're
not tremulous at all. Actually, that is not true. I do get incredibly tremulous, especially when I have to speak in front of a large group of people. And I have actually learned the hard way that I have to breathe deeply and find a way not to be visibly shaky.
The key is never make eye contact. Just look at their foreheads.
That's That's one trick. There
Yeah.
are lots of tricks that can help you with that. However, I feel like it's good to be a little bit tremulous because that little bit of nerves can help you to do better. I think a little stress is a good thing.
All right, guys, remember you have your vocab quiz next class, so steady up. It is on Thursday or Friday. And review your words. If you want extra credit, do the Wordly Wise. And
Wait, Mr. Arthurson,
Yeah.
anyone, seriously, anyone who would like to volunteer to burn battle with Mr. Arthurs, you are always more than welcome.
but realize it's reciprocal. It's going to come back at you. So you might be crying in a corner too, like Mrs. Curry. So.